Welcome summoners to my 4th episode of Getting Better at League of Legends. This time I'll be talking about wards, which might sound a simple concept, but due to the preseason 4 changes there are actually quite some changes around, and that's why it's good time to talk about wards. Also, wards are only available in Summoner's Rift, so there won't be any discussion amongst the other maps. Regardless, my name is Hepodix and hope you enjoy. Wards are often used to reveal brushes, which main purpose is to avoid getting ganked by the others. There are few other uses for wards too, but I'll get to that later as there are multiple ways to reveal areas and brushes, which includes the following items. The most classic way to ward is the stealth ward, which lasts 3 minutes and doesn't cost that much gold. Stealth wards reveals nearby area and takes 3 auto attacks before it goes down, or if the time expires. These type of wards are also limited to 3 per summoner, and only 3 can be placed on the map at the same time per player. The second classic ward is the vision ward that has infinite duration and takes 5 auto attacks before it expires. However, you can also see stealth wards and other invisible units with the vision ward, but the ward itself is visible all the time, so players just can go and destroy it if they see it. Vision wards are limited to 2 per summoner and only 1 can be placed in the map at the same time. There are alternative ways to gain wards into your bag, and here is the list. Warding Totem is one of the 3 basic trinkets that you can get for free if you plan to choose it. It grants you a stealth ward that lasts 60 seconds and has a moderate 2-minute cooldown as well. At level 9, Warding Totem is automatically upgraded to Greater Totem that also places a stealth ward, but has double its duration up to 2 minutes in total. For there, you can upgrade with 475 gold your Greater Totem into either Greater Stealth or Greater Vision Totem, which either grants a 3-minute stealth ward or 1 everlasting vision ward. The other 2 trinkets, Sweeping Lens and Scrying Orb, do not grant any warding, but the Sweeping Lens has its countermeasures as you can take any wards and traps off for 4 seconds from a certain position you use it and has a 2-minute cooldown. Sweeping Lens also automatically upgrades at level 9 into Greater Lens that has higher radius and lasts up to 6 seconds while only having 60 seconds cooldown on it. Greater Lens is also upgradable with 475 gold that gets you the Oracle's Lens that has the same 60 seconds cooldown and amazing stealth detection properties, as it even grants you a 8-second stealth detection, which is a lot nowadays as the old Oracle's elixir has been removed. Rest in peace, good old Vial. Well, that's enough with the trinkets, as there are a couple more ward sources such as Sightstone and Ruby Sightstone, which were introduced back in Season 3. Sightstone can hold up 4 charges, which releases each time a stealth ward when consumed, and refills each time when recalled back to the base. Sightstone is also upgradable to Ruby Sightstone that has more health, and more importantly it holds 5 charges instead of 4. And the last item you can get ward from is the Wriggles Lantern that is a decent jungling item and puts up a 3-minute stealth ward that has a 3 minutes cooldown as well. Also, it's good to remember that wards can be only destroyed with auto attacks. Certain champions, however, can use attack timer refreshing abilities, which works out amazingly to destroy the wards, with an example of Shyvana's Twin Bite that strikes twice within 1 auto attack animation. As we know, warding is one of the key points in League of Legends, and it's really important to know when and where you should ward at given times. Especially now that the trinket system has come into play, others than supports have also wards around, so it's really important to know also where the enemy has ward as well. Depending which lane or jungler you are playing, the key spots where to ward alter a lot. Let's first take a look at the bottom lane. Depending on the situation, some parts in the bottom lane area are good to have ward secured. The double bushes in the bottom lane are good spots if you're getting pushed back, or even to avoid skill shots and other gank surprises that can be done through those bushes. The tri-bush is one of the key spots as it covers one of the most viable gank roads that directs the lane. The dragon area is also needed to be taken into consideration as it can be very early objective and also can cover up a gank road. There are a couple more places you could put up a ward, but these are more situational. Like this bush over here is only necessary to ward if blue side is pushing the lane, as it opens up new gank spot for both teams. This one is usually not needed to ward if you're taking care of the tri-bush and dragon, but can be useful place if your wards are getting destroyed elsewhere, for example. And the last bush over here is very situational, as I pretty much never ward this one personally. However, this spot can deny ganks that comes around the jungle rather than crossing through the tri-brush, which is a smart move if the player knows that the tri-brush is warded. Middle lane, in the other hand, is more self-explanatory, as there are only 2 bushes in the lane. Depending which buff the jungler starts from, it's really simple just to ward the opposite side, as the jungler naturally comes from there pretty likely. Good jungler, however, can outthink this and take you other way around, so it's no standard tactic either. The other bushes far from the middle lane are also viable ward spots, as they take important paths alongside the middle lane as well as Dragon and Baron Nashor too. Top lane is pretty straightforward too, even though it has several bushes around it. The 2 bottom bushes both serve a good ganking route, so depending on your lane position, these are the vital spots if the gank appears. Also, warding further, almost next to Baron area, is good spot if you're on purple side and your lane is pushed a lot. Warding one of the 3 bushes in the top lane are more situational because it doesn't reveal you as important area compared to the bottom side bushes. Like in every other lane, top lane is also very time dependent, as you do not want to waste your ward duration and therefore rather maximize the timing potential instead. This comes up with the trial and error that can be only learned when done the same decisions over and over again until you master the timings and positionings altogether. Jungler and his warding job is the most flexible, as the places can alter a lot alongside the game. One good strategy is to help other lanes by putting wards to places where the gank could come up the most obvious from. Also, if the jungler has one of the lens trinkets, they can help the lanes by destroying the wards that the enemy has put there. Keeping also eye on the neutral camps and more likely the red and blue buffs, which are good positions to place a ward if you have plans to counter jungler or just to see where the enemy jungler is. It's also wise to keep eye on Dragon and Baron Nashor for possible takeouts. After the laning phase starts to end, the key spots will change somewhat as the groups will start to gather. There will be bigger ambition to keep Dragon and Baron warded as well as the buffs, so they can be obtained safely. Also, the paths leading to these camps serve a great ward opportunities as well. Although it's always good to think what could be the vital areas to ward at given times, as you want to know about enemies' movements as much as possible. Placing vision wards through the course of the game can be risky due to its visibility, but very rewarding, as it can bring down wards obviously and can strongly counterspell the champions as well. This all combined might sound pretty simple wise, but taking out the full advantage with the ward system, it's not really that easy after all. And these facts doesn't even conclude all of the mechanics, as we move on to the tips and tricks while I discuss any other ward purpose or issue that I can think of. Champions are able to use summoner spell teleport into a ward, but the process can be seen by the enemy, which you need to be very cautious about. Jax, Katarina and Lee Sin are able to use allied wards as an escape or initiate tool. Jax with his leap strike, Katarina with her shampoo and Lee Sin with his safeguard ability. Wards can be placed in a glitchy way when placed a ward into wall, which can result the ward to be placed further away than the range allows to. This can be very useful in some situations, but outcursoring can be difficult to handle in the first place because of its random functions. Some champions can escape situationally when taking advantage of the ward's vision. Yasuo, for example, can ward a blue camp and escape with his sweeping blade thanks to the vision granted. It's good to try to remember each type of ward's time durations, as it can help you to navigate ganks and plan other strategies. Taking a look at the enemy's trinkets and items, it's wise to check how many wards do they have, as you can counter-predict their warding as well as counter them when necessary. If you happen to notice enemy ward that you cannot destroy, it's wise to ping out the spot for other players, as they won't fall for them that easily. Warding early, before the minions spawn, can be useful if your team is planning to invade the enemy jungler or if needed to secure own camps. Putting a ward in unexpected places can turn out advantageous if it reveals a lot of enemies' movements, as they are also harder to search and destroy. After the ward is being placed, it is visible for the first 1 second, which can be enough time for the enemy to destroy it if they react fast or abuse attack time refreshing abilities. Ward skins have nothing to do with the mechanics, as they are just for the show. Alright, so that covers up all of the ward mechanics I can think of, and I really hope that the guideline was helpful in a total. Please rate, comment and subscribe if you haven't yet for my new weekly League of Legends and other gaming videos to come. Special thanks for Ramesses B and Sizzlebird for their music, and Honkis, Halme and other bros who helped me out with this video. That's about it for this time. My name is Hepodix and have a nice day.